Lakers are still looking for a new coach after missing the playoffs. Jeanie Buss spoke about the past season in an interview with the LA Times. Buss says, quote, "I'm growing impatient just because we had the fourth highest payroll in the league. When you spend that kind of money on the luxury tax, you expect to go deep into the playoffs. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied." That's probably a reasonable reaction. Shannon, what's your biggest takeaway from Jeanie's interview?
I concur, Jeanie. You should not be happy. You should not be satisfied. You should be very displeased with the product that was on the floor this season and the way it played, and the way they played and the way the season played out. Skip, look, when you're in her position, you like to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, that know more about certain things than you. And I don't have a problem. When I look at Phil is a great, great head coach. But picking coaches and building a team, he was awful. There's no other way around it.
With the Knicks.
That's the only opportunity that he had.
Got it.
He built nothing in Chicago. He built nothing in LA.
No.
So his one chance to show you, I'm more than a coach. I can build a team. I can build a roster, and we can be successful. He was a disaster. Magic, as a historically and a transcendent great player as he was, picking coaches and building a roster, that's not his strong suit. So you're relying on people to give you advice on things they're not strong in. Skip, I'm not a financial guy. So I'm going to rely on people that are strong financial guys. I got homeboys that are great in law enforcement. They alphabet guys, FBI, GBI, ATF.
Yep.
Okay, I go to them if I need to know something about that. That's what you do. So in what? Why are you asking Kurt Rambis anything? I get it.
Did you read her quote about Kurt Rambis?
Yes, I read a quote.
Yep. She said, "I want to remind people he's been involved in the NBA for close to 40 years, that he has been part of championship teams as a player and an assistant coach. He is someone I admire for his basketball knowledge," said Jeanie Buss of Kurt Rambis. Go ahead.
Skip, Kurt had a nice career.
He did.
But let's not pretend like Kurt Rambis was James Worthy. Let's not pretend like he was historically. He was a nice cog in the system. It was Kareem, it was Magic, it was Worthy. And if he had played anywhere else, we'd have never heard of Kurt Rambis. So that's not to diminish what he's done. He has those championships. But come on now. We saw Kurt coach. We saw, Skip, how many times? I mean, we saw it. And it didn't turn out well. And at the end of the day, like she said, I'm going to have to trust my gut because the buck stops with me, and it does. She's the governing partner. She's the head honcho. But look, obviously she made it the right stuff. It takes a special type of person to fire your damn brother. Ain't very many people, Skip, can fire a family member.
She did that 5 years ago.
Hey, Skip,
fired Jim Buss.
She fired him. Bro, you got to get up out of here. This ain't working with you. So I believe they'll get it right. She did mention LeBron James gonna have some. You heard that, right?
Yeah, what else is she?
Ain't nobody no Clutch in charge. Clutch ain't charged to be in charge. They not in charge. This is the Lakers. Clutch is they represent players. They're clients. But Goat James, she say she trusts. Did she say Goat James? She trusts. Because at the end of the day, Skip, this is Star League, Superstar League. You want your superstar happy, right?
I want to make sure he's happy.
You heard that? Make sure. She want to make sure he happy.
Because he is her only gate attraction going into next year as he tries to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points ever scored in this league.
See what you try to do. See, you always try to do this. You always try to split hairs to try to figure out why something is what it is. Just take it for what it is.
I'm just shaving the head.
It ain't no shit. All she said is that he important. That's what she's saying. Now you try to get, well, she want him to pass Kareem in a Laker uniform and yada yada. All that ain't necessary.
That's all she's got left.
It's him. Right.
Okay, it is my turn. My takeaway from reading every last word of Bill Plaschke's interview with Jeanie Buss was, Jeanie Buss is mad as hell, and she's not going to do a thing about it.
Yes,
That's the takeaway.
No.
She said it's business as usual going into next year. heads are going to, no, they're not going to roll. She's business as usual. She said, damn the torpedoes, I'm just moving forward with everybody around me. And she also admitted, and I thought this was a confession on her part, she said, I'm a collaborator. That's my nature.
Right.
So the buck, yeah, it stops on her desk, but she's going to get input from a whole
Magic,
lot of people.
Phil, Kurt, Linda.
Thank you.
And a little bit from LeBron.
And Pelinka.
Pelinka, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
she spoke glowingly of him.
Glowingly of Pelinka. So she surrounded herself with, to me, way too many cooks in her kitchen.
Right.
Because that's a lot of cooks,
Right.
man. Because you've added Phil back to the mix. And she said, hey, we've been seen around town together. We've had breakfast. We've had lunch. We've had dinner. We're not romantic. Fine. That's
Yeah,
great.
you didn't have to tell us that. Even if you were, you grown, he grown.
She said, I respect his basketball knowledge, and he understands what we're going through here because he's been there and done all
Right.
that. And she said, he doesn't have a stake in this, so I trust him because he's independent from us. He's got great insight into this without actually being a part of it as an employee of the Lakers.
But, Skip, he doesn't know a great coach.
Okay. Well, I got it. But my point is, you got... Either she has to trust herself or she has to pick somebody to choose and
Right,
trust.
right.
But she's asking for Magic's new input because
Right.
it looked like they fell apart for a while because Magic just flat out walked out the back door, right?
But, Skip, like you said, I mean, they're roughly the same age. And when she was a teenager, late or early 20s, when Magic arrived, so they kind of grew up together.
They're brother and sister.
They are.
They are. I got
are.
it. So she used to be with Phil, but she still highly values his input.
Yes.
She highly values Magic's input. Linda Rambis is her best friend in the world and her chief advisor for non-basketball matters.
Right.
For any sort of franchise matters or
Right.
business matters, she leans on Linda Rambis. Okay, so Kurt is very important in her life.
Right.
Because of Linda, right?
Right.
And Rob Pelinka, as you said, she just gushed about
Right.
how great he's been, how sharp he is, how trustworthy he is, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. Okay, cooks in the kitchen. You got a whole bunch of them. So which one of those opinions, because trust me, those are four very different people that
Right.
you're seeking knowledge from.
Right.
Well, which one are you going to trust? Which set of information, which analysis from on high are you going to take to your bank? If the buck stops on your desk, you have to pick and choose.
Yes.
Somebody's going to be right.
Yeah, ain't no. Some things, Skip, you collaborate, but at the end of the day, you got to make the final decision.
You just do. And I don't like the setup. This is dysfunction to me. And this is why I keep telling you, I love Mark Jackson. That's your pick to be the
Right.
next coach. But he fell apart in Golden State because he takes nothing from a buck.
Right.
You leave him be. Ownership, general managership, leave me alone.
Right.
I coach this team the
Right.
way I coach this team. Well, my God, look who would be looking over his shoulder if they choose Mark Jackson. The better question is if he chooses them,
Right.
because I think Mark Jackson would take one look at this dysfunction at the top and say, I want no part of that. Because you're going to have Phil looking over your shoulder, you're definitely going to have Pelinka and Kurt looking over your shoulder, and ultimately you're going to have Magic Johnson looking over your shoulder because they have the ear of your owner, right?
Well, Skip, I don't think Magic. I think Magic have bigger fish to fry. I mean, he's with the Dodgers, and he's with one of the groups that could potentially buy the Broncos.
That is a fact.
So I think he has a lot. I think, look, Skip, when you're as vested in what he bleeds purple and gold.
Okay.
There's no question in my mind that Magic only wants what's best for the Lakers and what's best for Jeanie because, like you said, he looks at her like a sister, as close a friend, relative, without being blood as you can find. Because they grew up, Skip, like you said, they got 40 years.
Yeah, okay. I got all that. But how do you make decisions based on that hierarchy? Because it won't work. In the end, somebody has to have final say, and it's really Jeanie has final say.
You know what happened, Skip, is that a lot of times when people come in, the owner hires someone, all those people that's really close to the owner, they get rid of them because that's the problem.
Bingo, okay?
That's the problem.
That's what we just detailed.
And guess what's happened? You keep going through that same cycle.
Yep.
That same cycle. You
Yep.
keep relying on these same people's opinion, and we're here. Did you realize this is not Groundhog Day? This is not deja vu. We're right back in the same situation because you keep getting the same advice.
Okay, so I loved her opening comments to Bill Plaschke, where she says, I'm growing impatient because we had the 4th highest payroll in the league.
Yes.
And when you spend that kind of money and that kind of luxury tax, you expect to go deep in the playoffs. Bingo.
I agree
got
with
it.
her.
So she says, for me, it was gut-wrenching to go out on a limb like that and get the results that we were looking for, or not get the results,
right.
obviously, we were looking for. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. And you're going to do what? Nothing. Business as usual. Stay the course.
We're going to get Buddy Hield and Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, you're so pie in the sky. You
don't want that to happen. No, you don't want us to be good.
I want you to be good. I want LeBron in the playoffs because I feel for him sitting on his couch eating Ruffles. It's a sad state of affairs. He belongs at least in the first round.
And like DJ Khaled said, we're going to get another one.
Yeah.
You don't want us to see us be great. You don't want to see us to be great.
Okay. How are they going to be great? Because he chose Russell Westbrook.
Buddy
You're on the hook for $47 million. Nobody wants Russell Westbrook.
Indiana does.
Yeah, Indiana's not going to save you.
Yes, they will.
Indiana
we'll get Brogdon and Buddy.
Yeah, we'll
My
take,
buddy.
We want what's left of Russell Westbrook, who got exposed this year as a
No, Skip. The lights won't be as bright. The lights are not as bright in Indiana.
Oh.
The lights are really bright in L.A.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want
it's the city of angels.
We want the sideshow, who is Russell Westbrook, because he's going to brick threes, he's going to lead the league in turnovers, and we're going to finish dead last in the East. But we got Russell Westbrook.
No. Y'all will be better because the lights won't be as bright.
Really?
Nobody in Indiana really cares about no turnovers, and the expectations is not the same in Indiana as